I want us to look at corporal punishment vis-a-vis punishment and abuse. And I want to look at it in a different perspective. First of all, we know that corporal punishment is the intentional infliction of physical pain on a person, commonly involving methods like spanking, paddling, or whipping. It is used as a disciplinary action measure for minors in home or school settings. But right now, I want to look at this because even the government of Kenya itself banned corporal punishment in schools many years ago. Corporal punishment was a norm. But what do you think, right? Let's spoil the child and all that. Now, what is the Islamic perspective about this? Here, I have my friend, Mr. Doyo, who is also an ustad, and he just want to hear from him on this same topic. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome, Mr. Doyo. You can tell us something about this Islamic perspective and your own perspective on the same topic.
Okay, punishment is there, it's part of learning. So there's punishment, then there is corporal punishment. Those are two. Not corporal, but the one which you can, it's an act of disciplining, correcting is there. Even our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was then chosen to be a prophet, he was at a cave called Kevera. Our God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent an angel called Jibril. You normally call him Gabriel. When he went there to the Muhammad, he told Muhammad, read. But by bad luck, our prophet never gone to school. So doesn't know how to read, not to write. He told him the truth. Ma'ana be carry on, then meaning of, I don't know how to read. But Jibril told him again, I'm telling you, read. Iqra, read. Our prophet replied again, I don't know how to read, not to write. The third time again, then that is where Jibril punished our prophet. How did he punish him? By squeezing him, inflicting fear to him. Then he started teaching him Surah Al-Alaq. You know it. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Should we punish our children to get knowledge or not? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can send an angel before teaching our prophet, he punishes him. How about us? So it is there, punishment is there, but not corporal, not to injure any the child, not to inflict pain.
So the punishment you are talking about was not inflicting pain or hurting.
Yes,
but it's just punishment.
That's punishment. Normal one to correct someone, to make him do the right thing. That is allowed in Islam. But then you want to injure, you break a bone, you make someone go to the hospital to hospitalize, that's not allowed. Okay. But the normal one, it is allowed.
The normal punishment is allowed. So what is this normal punishment according to you?
The normal punishment is the punishment that to correct, to punish the learner, to know that I have done a mistake, I should not repeat again. If there's something I need to correct him, that if he's supposed to do something, he didn't do it, you punish him to do it. If something you have ordered to do, he didn't do it, so that you are correcting to do, then in short, correcting him to do the right thing.
Correcting to do the right thing. Example, grounding.
Grounding him.
Denying a child something, some opportunities. Those are the types of punishments which you are talking about.
Yes.
So according to you, this thing, people are here talking so much about corporal punishment. Even the government of Kenya banned corporal punishment.
Not allowed.
In our schools, at home, and everywhere, corporal punishment is not allowed.
Not allowed.
So even in Islam, it's not allowed. Now you as a teacher, what types of punishment can you administer to a learner who has gone wrong?
Denying him to go for break, grounding him in class, make him, if others are good for games, not today, not go to the games, and also you can get some in the hand. Also, you can get a can and get like 2K, 3. That's a normal one.
So you are saying corporal punishment is not inflicting pain, but again you are saying you can hit the hand. Isn't that inflicting pain?
But it is pain, but it is a no.
Okay.
It is a cane, not a big bamboo. Not hard. You beat someone until the next day mkono umevunjika na kuna hospitali anafungwa. I know that.
Okay.
That's a simple one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your clarification on that and for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm here having a seat with one brother who is a primary school teacher in one of the schools in Kisauni, known as the Cradle Field School. And here I am just to hear from him, his perspective, his mind regarding the punishment, which according to me, punishment is not an abuse. And remember, in that punishment, we have what is called corporal punishment. So all of them are having adjectives. We have corporal, then followed by punishment. Then we have punishment, which is not an abuse. Now, I just want him to break it down to us so that we understand these all things, because so many folks are complaining about this word called punishment. When something happened, they complain, say, "Oh, my child is punished." Even at home, we hear all these things being said. Now, my brother Ken, I just want you to introduce yourself, then tell us something on your mind about the punishment and connect it together with the corporal punishment. And also, as you are doing that, I want you to know that government of Kenya banned corporal punishment in schools, and it became a crime, So I just welcome you to start by telling us your name and who you are and your mind into all this matter.
Thank you very much. As he has just mentioned, part of my name, I'm Kennedy, Teacher Kennedy there, a teacher at Cradle Trail. I just said primary school, but I handled both primary and junior secondary. Now that's a private school. Is just touched on the punishment of a child. We are aware and we are cognizant to the fact that it is an offense to punish a child corporally, but it is not a crime to punish a child with a point of correcting. Majority of the teachers, they punish with an aim of correcting. But now, how do they punish? That now is the elephant in the house. Yeah, as a teacher, you're not supposed to punish a child when you're annoyed, because it can culminate to beating. And in school, you don't beat. Two, there are ways you can employ other than using a stick to punish a child. And those ways should not emotionally torment a child in a manner that the child gets scared or confused. And I think you can just employ different ways that are best fit to a child. You can talk to the child, you can guide the child, you can counsel, you can give some ways in which they can do some task in a way to show that they did a mistake to be involved in doing that task. One very worst way that teachers do is use of a cane. African child normally use a cane. Yeah, they are used to canes, and when you carry them, they fear the cane, and I believe that way they feel if you don't use a cane to actually hit the child a bit, they feel they're not corrected. To some extent, I heard someday our late cabinet secretary, Mr. Magoa, was about to return the caning in school. And I think sometimes you can carry a cane to scare, but not to just scare the child. When he or she sees a cane, they know that I will get some, that's the language they understand. Now, if you do it with an aim of beating a child, it's an offense. So a child should not have a cut in case you use a cane as a teacher. Should not have a swelling part of the body. A child should not bleed when you are punishing the child. So we need to be very cautious when undertaking punishment, because it is against the law. Corporal, not all punishment are against the law, but corporal punishment was totally banned by the government.
Now, on that, the corporal punishment was totally banned by the government of Kenya, and not only government of Kenya, but many countries around the world banned corporal punishment in schools. Not only in schools, but even at home, due to the children's rights. Now, I just want to ask, what are some of the punishments that a teacher or a parent can put the kid into to make this kid or to control this kid or this human being? Because even some grown-ups needs to be punished to understand that some of the things that they do are wrong. So what are some of these things? Because when the government of Kenya banned corporal punishment, the government of Kenya failed to give alternative punishments for teachers to apply to correct these learners.
No, the government, we can't blame the government that they didn't give. You see, the government banned punishment because some teachers were beaten. Most teachers by then, before this, during the time we were going to school, we were being beaten, slapped, kicked, and in that way, the child, most of us used to get hardened to such kind of beatings, and it scared some of the learners. Some of the learners were physically tortured, emotionally tortured by that way of punishing. But now, to your question, you've asked now, what are some of the forms of punishment we are supposed to employ as teachers, and by extension, as parents at home? One, most parents try to maybe deny their children food. You see, food is a child's right. When you deny the food now, you are now again taking away the. You can give them some task they feel they can't, they are not supposed to do, and insist that do this task because you have done so and so. Like a teacher can let a child sweep while others are allowed to go to class. So a child will see that I've been made to sweep because I have done this mistake. So tomorrow I should not, because as he sweeps while the rest are, no, sweeping is not a punishment as such, but when the child does it alone while others are seated waiting maybe to be taught, and the child is now being punished, then he or she has done a mistake, and maybe tomorrow might not repeat the same mistake. Another way is there are some tags. You can tag, for example, a learner who is rampant, maybe too indisciplined. You can just write a tag and say the most indisciplined or child in school, and you tag the child around. So when she walks around, she feels embarrassed. She feels, I have done a mistake that even the people will see. And, she may not, he or she may not want to be tagged again with some negativity. Another thing is that teachers do. A child has not maybe done homework. This child is sent out of class to go and do the homework. That way, when the learning is going on, it is again against this child's rights. Maybe this child, by the time the child is sent out to sit outside while others are learning, because he or she didn't do yesterday's assignment, is another infringing on this child's right, because he or she is supposed to be part of the lesson. So teachers should refrain from that. Instead, you can just tell the learner, I give you this duration to bring that work. If it reaches break time, call the learner. You can tell the learner to maybe wipe some.
Now, just to get you very fast, you said something, first of all, that if I got you right, that if you give children, if you punish a kid or you give kids some work while others are learning, it's going against this child's right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the same time, sometimes back you said that it is important that you deny this child some rights, like being together with others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where are we right now? Because all these things are infringing the kids' right.
Okay.
Locking them outside classroom is infringing their rights, right? Caning them or punishing and saying, I cane you now, run to class, is going against this kid's right. And that is why, for the first time in Kenya, I remember, when corporal punishment was banned, it is a fact that teachers were confused. How are we going to control this situation?
Punishment should be done. You should punish a child not during the lesson. Like, assume maybe the child has come to school late and the lesson is not yet on. You can just give the child a small portion to sweep or pick some rubbish. So others didn't do it in the morning because they came early. This child is doing it because she came late. She's not doing it as a daily school chore or a school routine that she's supposed to do. But she's doing it within a short time. You don't punish her. You don't extend the punishment to interfere with the learner's class. But now, if the child does a mistake, maybe in class, the punishment should be done in class. Maybe you can, in class, or you can program later. See me later during break time. I punish you outside the class. So when others are enjoying break, this child is doing some late.
Isn't that also going against the kid's right? Because the others are outside, they're enjoying the break. This one is locked, either locked somewhere or grounded somewhere, or you're given some
I think
minor work he's doing. Is it also not interfering with the child's right?
If the child maybe misses within a short time, she feels it. That, you see, playing is yes a right, but you see, you're not denying this child that right for the whole day. You're denying this right for just a small period of time. So when you do that, and she will feel that I did mistake, and that is why I've been taken through this kind of punishment. So you're doing it you don't prolong the punishment. You just give, even if it is small but vigorous, she feels okay. And you don't give a punishment that can also take away a lot of, the child uses a lot of energy. You give according to the age limit. Age factor is important. Like, I remember there was a time I punished, I really told a child to go and slash a whole school field. My intention was not this child to slash the whole school field. I wanted to see the obedience. This child obeyed and started slashing. I just allowed this child to slash for just like 10 minutes, 20. Then I called and sat him down. We talked, we advised each other, and I talked to him, I gave him direction, and the child reformed. So sometimes you can pronounce a bigger punishment. She feel, oh, I do it all. Then you want to test the bit of obedience. Can this child be obedient? Can this child accept to do this? If she accepts, there's a one way of reform, maybe one way of showing reform, showing change. You just don't insist that she completes. You can just out of the way and on the way of the punishment, you stop it and go to class. Next time I don't want to do this. So that one is another way of punishing a child.
It's okay. Thank you very much. And we'll have another talk another day.
No.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard that two teachers, that is one Mr. Doyo and Mr. Kennedy. All those teachers are from the Cradle Hill School. You have heard them. You have heard them. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Are they honest? Are they correct, or they are not correct? What do you think? Discipline is not an abuse, and we always lie to ourselves. Let me say something that might make some people uncomfortable about this. Even as those teachers have given their mind, I gave them the set to give their mind on this. Discipline is not an abuse, and they really talked their mind out about punishment and what it is and what they think. And Mr. Deo there shared with us what Islam believes as far as punishment is concerned. I don't want to delve into that. Today, I'm paying the price for that confusion. Here's the truth. Discipline is not an abuse, and that is something that we should always walk around with. For all of us need to be disciplined in one way or the other, also to succeed. Footballer need discipline to succeed. Teachers need discipline to succeed. Women, her wives need discipline to succeed. Children need discipline to succeed. And they ought to be disciplined. Now, discipline builds, abuse breaks a child, discipline shapes a child. But in our society today, you have mixed these two things. We have put them in the same box. So you cannot put discipline and abuse in the same box. You cannot put those two in the same box. Personally, I don't really support corporal punishment, but what I support is discipline. With that comes in whichever angle. You know, the reality or the truth of the matter is when the Kenyan government banned a corporal punishment from school, which actually took a toll on others, on some of us while we were going to school, and it breaks majority of us. It did destroyed or did something to us that was not right. I think it was the right thing. Now the other side is that the government failed to give the directive on how to deal with all these things. But it is good, and we can confess, and I'm happy that everybody around is nowadays adopting to the correct way of disciplining learners without hurting them and without inflicting pain in them. So we all as people ought to understand that it is very much important to learn all these things and understand that disciplining kids or disciplining children is not hurting them. We have to restrain from hurting children. We have to restrain uh, from uh, from making children suffer, either by caning their hands, their backs, whichever part of the body. We should actually refrain from that and focus on the correct way of disciplining these kids. Now, some of the ways of disciplining kids or people is one, grounding them or taking whatever they like from them. And this happened everywhere around the world. Remember, many countries around the world banned corporal punishments, and they adopted other means of punishment to learners, which one of them is grounding, which works best. Some are locked in the room, some are just denied break time, break access, and some denied going to games with others, and that one is not even shaming them, but is disciplining them, makes them understand what they ought to do at the end of the day. Therefore, because corporal punishment was done away with, so everybody has to look for measures on which discipline can be done in a right way, without harming the learner or without harming anybody. But in general, discipline is very, very much important everywhere. Discipline is important everywhere. It is important at our home. It is important our children to be disciplined. It is important even work. Only disciplined makes us survive or continue with all that we do. Everything needs discipline. And the discipline can come from one person or from someone else or from our friends or by being talked to, whichever way. So we have to adopt the right way or the right means of doing all these things, sort of carrying all this discipline to our learners, so that we understand, so that at the end of the day we achieve the right thing that we are supposed to, or that we hope to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I won't continue from there. Remember, discipline builds, abuse breaks, discipline shapes. Discipline shapes, but in outside today, all these things are mixed up. We are afraid to say no. We are afraid to give consequences, and we call that being modern. We call that being loving. But let me ask you a simple question right now. Uh, if we don't train children today, who will fix the damage tomorrow? If we don't train children today, who will fix the damage tomorrow? We need to fix the damage right now. If we cannot wait this damage to be fixed for us, we need to fix it right now. In school, I see many children who are not stupid, they are not lazy, they are not bad, they are just undisciplined. They are just undisciplined. So what we ought to do is to try correcting and making them understand the right thing that they are supposed to know. Yeah, the right thing that they are supposed to know. Because without that, you find that things are at a mess. Um, They don't respect time, they don't respect rules, they don't respect authority, not because they are evil, but because nobody taught them boundaries. And when teachers try to correct them, some parents say, "Don't stress my child." But let me be honest with you. Uh, it is important if we understand all that. Um, it is us and it is upon us to correct and to show our children the correct direction, where they can go and whatever they can do so that they benefit tomorrow. Okay, the world will not ask your child, "Are you comfortable?" You know, all these things, when disciplining them, is preparing them for the future, because the future will never ask them whether they are comfortable. The future will want them to deliver in whichever way. So the world will ask, "Can you keep time? Can you follow rules? Can you control yourself? Can you take correction?" These are the questions the world will always ask. In school, we don't discipline children because we hate them. We discipline them because we believe in who they can become. That is why we discipline them. Think about it. We discipline players so they can win matches. These players are disciplined to win matches. Soldiers are disciplined so that they can survive in the battle. We discipline students so they can survive life. And that is why we discipline them and show them the right direction, not by inflicting pain unto them or hurting them or make them feel like, no, 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 they are not supposed to be in that place. No, we just have to discipline them, and by showing them the way of the world or the way of life, so that tomorrow all of us get things right. With no further ado, may God bless you so much. I say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for keeping it at Enoch The Bright TV. That is 30 minutes of streaming. You have heard Mr. Doe say something. You've heard Mr. Ken said something. Those are my close friends and allies. So it is important we put everything into perspective. Before we raise an issue, it is important we looked at it in a different way. Otherwise, bye. See you another time.